Hey everybody, we're live another Tuesday. We have Amanda and Chelsea with us from the Women's Fishing Network. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful, thank you.
I'm doing great, thank you.
You guys have a nice rainy day?
Always just living the wet, soggy dream out here.
Yeah, it was thunder and lightning happening outside my window, and I saw there was tornado warnings today in Alberta.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, it's getting pretty crazy these days. And it doesn't look like it'll get any better this week, so hopefully the weekend shapes up for everybody.
Here's hoping, yeah.
What did you guys get up to this weekend?
Actually, I had a pretty good weekend, nice long weekend. Canada Day, just did some yard work and enjoyed the fireworks. And then Saturday made a pretty incredible southern feast with a nice smoked brisket from a buddy of mine. And then
Oh yeah.
Sunday took my sisters out fishing for the first time in probably like 8 or more years. We went to one of our kind of local haunts and took the old canoes out, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Enjoyed the free fishing weekend. Um, yeah, just used it's a big spoon lake, so just lots of casting and slow retrieve on the spoons, and managed to get into a few nice pike, but. Yeah, just out and enjoyed the beautiful weather and time with the family. It was pretty great.
What's your favorite spoon you're using?
Oh, that particular lake, that's a Len Thompson lake for sure. Generally, I have the most luck on the frog pattern out there.
Oh yeah.
But this time around, it was actually the new Fishing for Food Banks lures that
Nice.
were killing it. It was pretty awesome. I had a good time.
Were you using the glow or those metallic ones?
The metallics. The one that I had on was the red with black spots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I got 2/3 of the fish that I caught that night were on that spoon. It was pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So everyone should go get some of those.
I agree. Yeah, great
Right
cause.
Yeah.
Definitely support the food banks, and yeah, there's a reason they're a classic.
For sure. 100%. Chelsea, how was your
Well,
weekend?
Amanda, if you come visit me in Lacombe, we could go on a little trip to the Len Thompson Lure Factory.
That it's a bucket list trip for me.
Yeah, for sure. And they do tours around the factory and stuff. They were on hiatus during COVID, but I think it's back happening. So that'd be fun.
Good to hear. Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't made it, but I met Brad at the Len Thompson Pond the one day, and he invited me in. So one of these days, I got to make it. But I got to go get some of those food bank spoons here within the next week or so. So
yeah, me too. It's on my list
before they sell out.
Yeah, no, those look pretty good. Those glow ones, I think, will be awesome for lake trout. So
absolutely, yeah.
What did you get up to, Chelsea?
Well, I've been spending time on the Raven River, and I got skunked again this weekend, but every time I go out there, I learn more things about it, and it's such a challenging river. So I'm just grateful to be out there and in the outdoors and learning a lot. And every time I go out, I happen to lose less and less lures in the trees.
Always a bonus.
Sometimes if I go on the other side of the river, we'll go and try to like retrieve them from the trees from the previous trip.
Yeah. Were you fly fishing or spin casting?
Oh, just spin casting. I haven't challenged myself yet to do the fly fishing, but it's on my bucket list this summer to start learning it. Me and Amanda have some great sponsors through the fly fishing world, and they've hooked us up with some awesome stuff. So I've tried a few times, but it's harder than it looks.
Very much so, yeah.
And you don't want to learn on the Raven at all.
No, gosh, no. I'll be learning over at the Len Thompson Pond.
Yeah, that's a good place to start for sure.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the network you guys are with there and what it's kind of about.
Sure, yeah. So it kind of started, not this previous winter, the winter previous to that. Yeah, Rick from Goes to 11 Media approached me and said that he had been planning this project and had it on the back burner for a while, kind of just hoping and waiting for the right group of people to come along to kind of bring it into action. And yeah, he wanted to put together a women's fishing initiative where we did, YouTube videos as well as social media presence, basically putting the spotlight on women in the sport, encouraging women and empowering women to get involved in the sport, education and, conservationism, but basically, yeah, just giving women a safe space to feel, empowered and brave and get out there and just, get your feet wet like the rest of the guys.
Yeah, boots on the ground.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, obviously I was, ready and willing to join that cause. I think it's a fantastic idea and a really wonderful opportunity. So I kind of jumped at the chance and yeah, kind of dove in head first and awkwardly stumbled through my first YouTube video, which was a steep learning curve. But yeah, it kind of snowballed from there. And then we were super fortunate to land Chelsea, and we've had a couple other hosts come and go, but Chelsea and I have stuck it out, and yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, like BJ's saying, you're seeing more and more female anglers out there, which is great to see.
It is great to see because it always has been male dominating sport, right? And I was always intimidated by it. So I think that's why I've liked being a part of this project, is because I'm not any expert or anything like that. I'm just having fun and learning, and it inspires other people to give it a try.
Yeah, it doesn't look so daunting or intimidating, I guess. If someone's going through the steps of learning new things, then they can learn with you pretty much, right?
Yeah. And I know even Rick and I have had some conversations, in our most watched video on our YouTube channel is one where I actually hook my own ass with a hook. I didn't catch no fish or anything, but I hooked myself. And
You got a butt.
Well,
I know, like, just Chelsea's like honesty and humility in her videos and stuff like that, I think really reaches women, especially women who are just entering the sport. So yeah, I think that's been like such an integral part of our growth as an organization, is having Chelsea really like explore and express her journey with fishing.
yeah, for sure. Do you have any advice to give a new angler that's getting into the sport, like where to start and what's the best kind of some tips for them to start off with?
Well, I think for myself was going out fishing with good people that were willing to first have patience with me and willing to teach me and not be so hard on me, and teach me the reasoning of why. There's the reason behind the fishing techniques,
Yeah.
and the reading the water to know it's not as easy as it looks. So I think having good mentors in the fishing world really helped me, and that's my biggest piece of advice.
Definitely good advice. From my perspective, don't get like super caught up in the technicalities of it right away. Don't get super hung up on the gear, because honestly, there's things that I've noticed is like when you go back to the basics, sometimes that's the stuff that works the best, so just, rely on the basics to begin with. And then as you grow in the sport, you embrace the things that you learn, you employ the things that you learn. I know for myself as an angler, I've fished like my whole life, but only in the last probably 5 or 6 years did I start to take it a lot more seriously. And I know that using YouTube and social media has been such an incredible resource. So for, women that are starting out, honestly, like look up guys like Jay Siemens, look up guys like Aaron Weeb, and watch those videos, because man, like the amount of information that and technical advice and stuff that I've learned from watching those YouTube videos has been incredible.
100%. A wealth of knowledge with all those
Mhm.
bigger guys there, and they good cinematography with those
Oh.
shows as well.
Yeah, super enjoyable to watch. But yeah, just the amount, and they're so relatable, you know, and they have the ability to really like break down the technical aspects of things without being boring.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've learned a ton watching those guys throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a favorite female angler you watch on YouTube?
I do.
Well, if you know me, you would know who that is.
Oh,
Which
I
is
think I do.
infamous
I have a
Lisa
sneaking
Roper.
suspicion.
Yeah, definitely Lisa Roper. And I've had the pleasure of meeting her and fishing with her. So I just admire her so much. So
Yeah, she's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
mhm.
Yeah.
she's funny.
For
Oh,
myself, somebody I really enjoy is she's I don't know, she's a host or whatever for Barstool Outdoors. Her name is Sydney Wells. Yeah, I just think she's a super cool chick. Like she's not, you know, she goes out and does her thing, and it's not all about getting dolled up, and you know, she just gets out there and grinds and fishes and has a ton of fun while she's doing it. And yeah, I think she's a really fantastic role model for women in the sport.
Mhm.
awesome. So go
Mhm.
check out them. Go give them a like and subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think watching anglers on YouTube and whatnot has totally opened my eyes, because having to film ourselves and making segments,
Yeah.
it is such a challenge. And it's been the biggest learning curve, I think, of everything, because it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
For sure. Solo filming is the worst.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I've lost a phone in the river when I've been solo fishing and solo filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Do you guys do like a shot list then when you do your videos, or you just kind of wing it?
Oh, generally wing it. Yeah, it's tough. I'd say like the biggest challenge can be balancing trying to get the shots, but I'm also like I get hyper focused on the actual fishing.
Mhm.
Just and who wouldn't? It's you're out, you know, you're out there, and if you're getting bit, it's easy to forget, you know, how important it is to try and be, you know, focusing on getting the shot and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of just winging it.
Yeah. Chelsea?
Yeah, me too. I do a lot of winging it as well. And then usually when I'm out there, sometimes just winging an episode, I'll come up with something. Like a couple days ago, I went out to Boulder Lake out by Black Falls just to do some trout fishing, because they got tigers in there and it's only 10 minutes from home. So I was like, whatever, I'll just go spend a few hours there and make an episode. And I got skunked, because that happens to me a lot. But I ended up, I don't know why, but all the time when I was fishing, I was always manually flipping my bail back myself. And one of my friends pointed out, was like, why are you doing that? Just let the rod do the work. Let it do itself. So the whole time I was out there, that's what I was practicing. And I got it down pat. And that's kind of what I talked about, right? Is just because I'm not catching fish, I'm learning so much.
Yeah, honing your craft.
But the guy across was fly fishing and he caught 13 trout.
You still had the fly on, I guess.
Classic.
You better get on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it requires a lot of patience.
At the beginning, I think, yes. Then after, it's just like a tactical thing. Casting it, you just kind of put it where you want it, and just the layout and everything just becomes more of a art, I feel. Just it's just something different, I guess. Well, everything has its own thing, and it's just kind of a cool feeling.
Totally, it's an art form.
Yeah,
and I don't think you can like truly appreciate it until you go and try to do it and aren't good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally. And I love the idea of fly fishing too, that you make your own flies and things like that, right? Like me and Amanda are trying to get into fly tying and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I set up my little station and watched some YouTube videos and tried to find the easiest fly. And I failed miserably. And I couldn't even make an episode because I was so embarrassed. And I'm like, this is way harder than it looks, but I'm not going to give up.
Do a woolly bugger. They're pretty easy.
Okay, I might have to try that one.
Search that and everything likes them.
Okay.
It's just the leech imitation pattern. You just put on your tail, then you put on a little bit of yarn, then your hackle, then just wrap the yarn forward, then wrap your hackle forward, tie it off. That's
That
a
sounds
simple.
really hard, Mitch.
No, there's only 3 steps, pretty much.
I prefer the old you unclip your leader, clip the spoon into your leader, close your leader, and you're off to the races.
Yeah. What would you guys say is your favorite fish to target?
Ooh. I flip flop. I mean, based on the access I have to my local lakes, I mean, the stuff I'm most commonly fishing for is pike or walleye. But I got a taste of the perch fishing this winter, and it's definitely sticking with me. And so I've been spending a lot of my spring and summer fixating on perch fishing. And not this last weekend, the weekend previous, I went out and had some luck and finally got into some decent keeper size perch. And I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I could keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty fun. I love perch fishing.
And there's such like, I find especially in Alberta, there's such like an air of mystery around them, you know? Like if you know where they are, you know where they are. And if you don't, you don't. And so you could spend forever chasing them and trying to find that spot.
Yeah.
And then once you have it, you hold on to it for dear life and never share it with anyone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can never have a favorite species, I don't think.
No.
I just get obsessed with something for a bit.
That's fair.
That's
Then I'll
typical.
move on to something else.
Yeah.
Not
What,
me. I'm a trout girl, and I love trout. That's my favorite thing to go after. And my favorite type of fishing is river fishing and wading and hiking, all that. That's my favorite way to fish. So I love a brown trout, but I don't know what it is about rainbow trout. They're my favorite too. I love catching those too.
So feisty.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. I think Tiger's got them. They're a lot feistier, I think.
Yeah, tigers are very, very feisty, and they're such a cool fish too. But I love ice fishing for tiger trout.
Yeah.
I've never landed a trout through the ice yet. Only open water.
Oh,
So that's a goal for this winter, is to spend a little bit more time targeting trout through the ice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
there
some
are.
good spots.
What's that?
I know some good spots. I'll take you. You just got to come down to Central Alberta.
I think that could be arranged.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a different favorite when you go to ice fishing? Or do you
No.
kind of have one the whole time?
No. Ice fishing walleye is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just so like they're so aggressive, but they're also like they're so subtle at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get onto them, you know, they can be super aggressive, but I find that I have to work a little bit harder for them. Like piker, I mean, they're a dime a dozen, and you could literally put anything down there. At start of the season, you know, you're starting off with the bigger stuff. End of the season, I had micro tungsten on, and I was just slamming them because they'll literally eat anything. But I find with the walleye out here, you have to finesse a little bit more, and so it's a little more exciting when you do get them.
Get that little more pressure.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, you're still on the trout?
Yeah, and I have not yet landed a nice lake trout through the ice, so I would love to catch like a cold lake one something like that. And I'm not a big pike girl, but I do actually love ice fishing for pike, especially down at like Lake Newell, and they're just massive. So it's a different kind of feeling when they're that big.
Definitely. Yeah.
BJ was asking if you guys have ever been on a guided trip.
I have not. No. There's a local guy out here that I'm sure most of you know, which is Adam Gamble. I've chatted with him a couple of times about getting out, but yeah, I need to pull the trigger and just book a trip with him because he's incredible, and the amount of knowledge that guy has is amazing, and I need to utilize that.
Yeah,
good guy for sure.
Well, and Amanda and I actually were just invited to Cree Lake, and just with the timing and everything, we just couldn't make it work. So we are hoping to make it there soon-ish. But that would be pretty phenomenal. And
yeah,
that'd be crazy. I know a couple, like 3 weeks ago, I got an invite too, but it was the next morning at 5:30 we fly out. So it's like, well, that's not going to work. I have a 2-day course those next 2 days that I've already skipped out on.
Yeah.
But hopefully next time.
Yeah.
And then besides that, I went on one ladies guided trip with Mike Robertson. We did a ladies overnighter on the Bow River. So that was pretty cool. And other than that, it's just been my personal guides I have that take me out.
What are you guys, do you have anything you're looking to accomplish this year to move further into the fishing community or industry, like try something new? Or
oh boy, I definitely think getting more comfortable and really like mastering fly fishing is something that I really want to work on. Something that I haven't utilized enough that's local to me is the North Saskatchewan River. So I need to really get out there, and I'm hoping to do maybe even a float trip this summer. It's the fact that we have a body of water that close to us that has that many species in it is just incredible, and I feel like I've missed out, and that would go a long way in my growth as an angler.
Yeah, no, it's always fun. When I lived in Edmonton for a year or so, or two, we just walked down. We're pretty much right on the river and go catch walleye and suckers.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like the fact that you can go out for an evening of fishing, and you can catch 6 different species in the same stretch of river is just incredible. And most of which I've not ever caught before. Like I've been fishing forever. I've never caught a burbot, which is to me is wild. But yeah, burbot, whitefish, goldeye, mooneye, sauger, like all these species that don't necessarily naturally dwell in our lakes, and it's just right there. And I live a 20-minute drive from it, but I just haven't had the opportunity to really tackle it yet. So
just gotta give her.
And I find one of the biggest struggles lately is all the rain and everything we've been getting. It's like I've planned a few fishing trips and stuff, but then have to just kibosh them because you can't do it. It's just crazy the amount of rain we're getting.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of stuff still blown out, but that's sometimes good. If there's a little bit of visibility, sometimes those bigger fish will slip up that much more because they just don't have that time to look at that lure. And they give you that extra chance to get on those bigger fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe BJ will take you guys out on North Saskatchewan. He's been guiding it for 10 years, so.
It would appear.
Well, that sounds fun to me. I don't ever try to turn down a fishing trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give him a shout.
Yeah, it's sturgeon this year too. Yeah, me and BJ are actually, we only live like 10 minutes away from each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just follow him.
I will. Like, man, help me out. I need to catch a sturgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your, do you have any species you want to catch this year that you haven't caught before?
Oh, of course.
What would
Yeah.
be that one for this year?
I have two this year for myself. One would be a grayling. I want to go kind of out, I guess, more west, and I'd love to get a grayling. And then, as crazy it is, I've never got a cutthroat trout. So I would love to catch one of those. They're just beautiful too. So that's kind of the two things I want to get this summer.
Yeah. Well, I crossed off one of my bucket list fish this year with a almost 40-inch pike. That was like the experience of a lifetime and something I definitely look forward to doing again. But yeah, I'm not picky. Honestly, anything I've not caught. Like if I caught a burbot, I know they're gross and slimy, but I want to experience it. And honestly, I'd like to experience it open water before experiencing it through the ice. Yeah. And then like any of those, like goldeye. I think goldeye are just such a neat looking fish. And I've heard that they fight like the Dickens. So I think that would be pretty cool.
So what's the one you're going to get this year?
Both.
Oh,
Doing it.
Have you tried eating burbot, Amanda?
I haven't, no, but I've heard such good things.
Yeah, me too. I caught a burbot ice fishing this winter, and it was, out of all my ice fishing trips, I don't know, it was just massive, and it was my favorite fish I caught this winter.
Well, you sight fished that one, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, I did. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, burbot are fun in the winter for sure. That's pretty much the optimal time to catch them around here anyways.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. So
yeah, I haven't delved too much into the eating aspect of fishing. I've always been, my whole life I've been catch and release. But
even all the walleye you catch?
I chuck them all. Well, we have very few lakes around here that you're legally allowed to retain, and even then you require tags. And I've just never. I love fishing. I am trying to summon the courage to kill a fish, but I just, I don't know. I need someone to come with me that's willing to do the bonking for me, and then I'll keep a couple. But the perch this year, I think I'm going out tomorrow night if the weather cooperates, and I happen to have stumbled upon a pretty decent spot. So if I go and if my brother comes with me, I'll get him to do the dispatching, and I think I'll keep a couple and do a catch and cook with them.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, no, they're delicious. Erin's the same way. She won't bonk them. I have to bonk them, but she loves eating them.
That's kind of one of the things on my bucket list too, I guess, is to learn how to bonk a fish and fillet it and stuff. And it's funny because on our YouTube channel, there's this one guy who just comments on all of my videos, and he keeps almost like getting mad at me that I'm not keeping the fish and filleting them on film. And he's telling me that I need to learn how to do that. And he wants to see me catch a fish and fillet it right on the spot. So I'm like, challenge accepted.
Sounds like somebody's got a kink.
Yeah.
So we actually, Amanda and I got these really awesome bonking tools. So I'm really excited to try it. And of course it's pink, but I bonked my first fish last year, and I was just so scared I wouldn't bonk it hard enough and it would suffer. So I did the opposite and bonked it too hard.
What did you do? Knock its head off?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh boy.
How big was the fish?
So I was like, don't film that. You cut that out right now.
Yeah. But it's intimidating. There's such a, like, you want to be as ethical as possible. But then there's a lot of like technical stuff that goes with it that I don't know about necessarily. Like, do I have to bleed the fish? Like, will it affect the taste? Stuff like that I'm not. You watch these guys ice fishing, turf their fish out onto the ice and call it a day. And I'm like, well, do you do anything with it after that, or So it's I got to do my research here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one thing after another of learning. It never ends.
It never ends. Yeah.
Broden says it's better to take off their head than let them suffer.
That's true. Yeah.
That's my motto.
Yeah.
With the Women's Fishing Network, do you guys have anything maybe events or something that you're looking to put on to get more people involved in fishing?
We've definitely discussed the potential of doing like a kids can fish or something to that effect. But yeah, it's just with COVID and everything, there was just so much uncertainty and stuff like that we never really came up with a concrete plan. But moving forward is definitely something that we would be interested in doing. I think like visibility within our community and stuff like that would go a long way. But yeah, it's just a matter of finding the right event and having the right support and stuff like that. But yeah, I could see something in the next year or two being in the works. More than likely, I would see it being like an ice fishing event, just for accessibility and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully we can put something together this winter. I think it would be really cool. Chelsea and I aren't that far away from each other. We're only a couple of hours. So yeah, to like find a cool lake somewhere in the middle and put on some sort of event would be really fun.
Because that is one of the biggest struggles of us ladies that are part of the Women's Fishing Network. We've never met in real life, and we all live in different parts of Canada and all over. So it's hard to kind of all of us get together and do a fun event. So we're all kind of on our own trying to pump up the Women's Fishing Network in our own little areas and spread the word. And we've started trying to expand by like writing blogs and writing reviews on the gear we're getting, different stuff like that. So it's not just videos of me getting skunked all the time.
Yeah, it's tough. And like with the accessibility and visibility too, it's, we're always, and especially right now, we're on the lookout for, new on-camera hosts. We're always looking for new ladies to join up. And you don't have to specifically be an on-camera host. We would love, written contributions and stuff like that. But something we would love to see happen in the near future here is to kind of go a little bit more international. We've had good luck with girls within Canada. But yeah, we'd love to see people from, Australia, Texas, Hawaii, places like that. So yeah, if anybody's interested, definitely reach out. Chelsea and I can attest to the fact that, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's also super rewarding. It's a ton of fun. We've created such a cool community and made such like meaningful, awesome connections with other people. So yeah, and then obviously the sponsorships and stuff like that don't hurt. Getting, fishing gear in the mail every once in a while, it's pretty exciting. And you get stuff that you wouldn't necessarily buy on your own, and so it expands your arsenal. But yeah, it's just a really cool opportunity. And yeah, if people are interested, send us or send Rick a message, and we'll try and hook it up.
Yeah, I know Craig was saying he'd like to get his daughter into it, perhaps, or how to get that started. I know she's part of Fish Whipped Apparel and stuff as well. They're from Southern BC. Do a lot of bass fishing and stuff. So,
which is, I find, is something that we're like sorely missing. I think that's just like such an untapped corner of this, this sport in this industry for women, is the bass fishing aspect. So it'd be so cool to get a girl, or woman, I guess I should say, who is an experienced bass fisher. And I don't have any access to bass fishing, but man, I love watching those videos so much. I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, it's not too far away. It's only probably 6 hours for you ish.
Yeah, not too bad. You could go BC, or you could go like, what is it? Esterhazy has a lake. No, not Esterhazy. Where is it?
Which in BC?
Saskatchewan. No, in
Oh,
Saskatchewan. There's a lake.
Estevan.
Estevan, that's right.
Mhm.
Estevan
Estevan has Boundary, but that's a lot further.
yeah,
BC's your closest one.
yeah. Well, what does the shoe shops have bass?
Yeah, some of it does. They have
Yeah.
smallmouth and largemouth. There's little stock ponds around there.
Well, Amanda needs to go for a drive.
Yeah, no, bass fishing is the best. We always go like September long, I think.
Yeah.
Every year. And usually we try to get out ice fishing too. And the perch
Yeah.
fishing's good down there as well. So
Oh man.
it's unlimited perch.
Oh boy. Like there's no limit?
No,
Oh jeez.
you can eat everything.
It's so funny how different provinces are like that, hey? Like they just place different value on different species. It's like, here even perch is typically 15, but other places they're like, it's a garbage fish, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge learning curve too, is all the regulations, and they're different everywhere. Like I've fished in Saskatchewan and BC, and having to get special licenses and learn what the regulations are. You got to do your research if you want to fish properly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's that fish ID course you can take now online there. So they'll tell you all the Alberta species and everything, and you do the test, and hopefully more people do that.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, neither have I. That sounds cool though.
Yeah, I think they should make it part just like a hunter's ed course, but make a fishing so people have to do it before they get their fishing license.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the ACA has that, so if you check it out on ACA, they have a bunch of different programs you can do.
Yeah, I think especially in Alberta, I find that the onus really needs to change and be focused on like the conservation aspect of things a little bit more. The more I go out and see, and I think it's a small silver lining of COVID is that it really pushed people back outside. And I love seeing people, embracing the sport and re-entering or entering for the first time this sport. But man, the lack of education, it's really frustrating.
For sure.
It is frustrating when I feel like people like us work so hard to follow the rules and do the research, and we put the time in and we earn the fish we catch, really.
Yeah, no, just needs to be more education put out there for all the new people that join the outdoors pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about it every episode pretty much right now, but
well, it's not really a message that you can get across enough, honestly. Like when you're going out to these lakes and you're knee deep in garbage, and some of these lakes, in previous years were absolutely pristine.
Yeah.
You would never even know that anybody else knew about that spot because there was nothing left behind other than maybe footprints. And now it's just, you're spending half your time picking up trash, and, you're packing out twice as much as you brought in. And it's just, it's frustrating. And it's honestly, you can chalk a lot of it up to laziness, but you can also chalk a lot of it up to lack of education,
Yeah. Do you guys, we kind of talked, I know how COVID kind of put a big damper on doing more public stuff, but what are some of the companies that you work with, and what's kind of your favorite gear that they're putting out right now?
Ooh, a good one.
Yeah.
Like an obvious favorite for me is Lucky Bug Lures. I think Sophie is just like, she's such an incredible woman. And honestly, like, I haven't thrown something from Lucky Bug Lures yet that hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So they're definitely, if I'm having a bad day fishing and I can't figure out the bite, it's like almost without fail. If I throw on, an F-bomb or a Zombie Max, I'm going to get bit. But also a more local company to Alberta is Getting Hooked Lures. Their spoons and their spinners are just like top notch.
Yeah.
I haven't found a species out here that don't like them. So those are probably two of my faves for sure.
Chelsea?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I love the Lucky Bug lures. I love the F bombs. They're my favorite. I just can't get enough of them, and they're just so easy to use too. And I like to use spinners a lot, so we got a lot from Getting Hooked Lures and Spitfire Fishing. They sent me a
Mhm.
bunch of lures, and they're just cool too. And then we got our new waders from iWader, and it's the first pair of real waders I've ever owned, and I love them. They're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Are
Super
they
comfortable.
neoprene or breathable?
They're more on the neoprene side.
Yeah.
But I find them like fairly breathable. But yeah, just like other waders, I've had other pairs of waders before, and I never found that they don't gear a lot of that stuff towards the female form. And so
Mhm.
they fit you weird in weird places. They aren't made for big hips, but they aren't made for small hips either. And so it was pretty cool finding a company that caters specifically to women's bodies. So yeah, it feels like they were made for us, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's what I actually love about our sponsors. Amanda was talking about Sophie and stuff. Like everybody that sponsors us, we talk to them on a regular basis. They reach out to us and answer any questions we have. And I'm talking on the phone all the time with Herb that's down in like Michigan with Anadrama's Fly Company because he's sending me these tools, and I'm like, what in God's name is this, and what do I do with it? And they walk us through it, and they are there for us. So
Yeah.
I think the support from them is what's really important.
If you had a bucket list trip this year, what would it be?
Are we talking like no holds barred, like
No
money
holds
is no
barred.
object?
Go wherever.
Ooh. I would probably go either Florida or, oh man, trying to think of the country.
What
But
are you going
peacock
for?
bass. I would want to go chase after peacock bass.
Yeah,
They're
they'd be
just,
pretty sweet.
yeah, they're such beautiful fish, and they can get so big. And I think that would be a really, really cool species to go target.
Chelsea?
Oh, that's a tough one too. I've never done any like tropical fishing or anything like that. So I think going on a deep sea fishing trip would be a totally different experience. And I would love to give that a try one time.
Would it be jigging or like sailfish or?
I would prefer jigging because I just love the feeling of, getting a hook, but I'll do anything pretty much.
Yeah.
like a big grouper or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, or a marlin. That's what they're called that I'd love to catch actually is a marlin. I think they're pretty neat.
I think GTs are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any of the trevallies are those are neat fish.
Yeah, there's so many fish out there.
Yeah. Just got to catch them all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's right. But we're so lucky in Alberta with all the fishing we have and the rivers and the lakes. I'm so grateful for being close to out west a little bit and being able to fish as often as I do.
Yeah. Do you guys do a lot of camping trips out to different places or?
Oh, we mostly camp locally. We used to go to Edson quite a bit in my 20s and stuff like that, but we haven't been out that way in a while. But we just got a new to us trailer last year. So we're planning a couple of trips for this summer. And I do my best to focus camping trips on places that have lakes. So yeah, I got a couple in the works. Nothing too crazy, nothing too far, but yeah, just try and get out as much as I can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Broden's saying the big GTs will destroy a Shimano like as a children's toy. So I don't know if he's gone for him or not, but he is that crazy Australian, so who knows?
I was gonna say they're he would have better access than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea?
Yeah, I love camping and I try to incorporate camping and fishing together. I'm a tent girl, so I feel like I rough it pretty good. I haven't went camping yet this year, so I'm looking forward to getting to do that the end of July. And I think my most funnest camping fishing trip was when I went sturgeon fishing, because one of the funnest to catch sturgeon is nighttime, right? So it was one of my favorite trips I've ever done was sturgeon.
Nice.
And that was right on the North Saskatchewan, right on the side. So yeah, it is fun. And I love actually ice fishing night, camping out in the winter. A few years ago, if you would have told me that I was going to sleep out on the ice to fish, I would have thought you were nuts. But now it's a pretty cool feeling and I love it. It's a blast.
Yeah. Do you guys have any winter trip planned this year?
Well, I think it'd be pretty cool to make it to Cold Lake. I feel like that's something that every Alberta angler has to experience in their lifetime. I think making it to Lac La Biche would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Chelsea and I got to meet up at some of the southern lakes here. I want to check out Newell. That looks, I'm cool with catching some monster pike, so I think that would be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there you got any plans, Chelsea? Or are you just gonna maybe head down south again? Or?
For winter, I'm just trying to focus on the summer right now and not thinking too far ahead. Yeah, my stepdad just moved to Crow's Nest Pass, so they have some really good fishing down there. And there's the Highwood, the Old Man, the Sheep. So I'm hoping to hit that up this summer for sure. So I'm really excited for that. I have a friend trying to convince me to go hiking up the mountains and catch some golden trout. So that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll mostly be sticking around Alberta and BC to do some fishing this summer, and I'm hoping to get out every weekend.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to get out every weekend.
Yes, it would.
Maybe in a couple of months.
Yeah. What about you?
Alberta, probably Saskatchewan, BC, maybe some Yukon, and maybe Manitoba.
Oh, whereabouts in Manitoba?
Probably Winnipeg.
Ooh, well, that's nice.
The Big Windy's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the Red River. That looks like it'd be a blast.
Yeah, I've ice fished the Red River. I've never gone in the summer, but I'm kind of running out of space to put trips for the summer, so
Just going into your job. Problem solved.
Going into the winter. Yeah, probably should.
So, what do you like to target, Mitch, and why? What's your kind of favorite fish, and what do you have advice for us gals?
I never have a favorite fish. It kind of goes by seasons and when I can go there. Right now I'm stuck on lake trout kind of. They've been, once I get on, like for a while there at a walleye phase, that's all I really did. And then now I'm on lake trout and I throw fly fish in the mix for cutthroats and browns, but right now, if I could just focus on a lake for big lake trout, that'd be awesome. Like when we were at Cold Lake for that derby a couple of weeks ago, it was incredible. We landed over each 30 fish days.
Oh my goodness!
And we're missing the one day. My first 10 fish, I think I missed, and I was not very happy about it. But so I sharpened all my hooks, put on new hooks. But I just couldn't get one for the life of me. But then it turned around, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, lake trout are a big thing for me right now. Just scented tubes if you can use bait, anchovies. And just depending kind of the depth of the lake, even in the deeper lakes, you can start around 40 feet and make your way out to 120. Just look for those bait clouds and drop-offs, steep drop-offs. They'll be on those shelves cruising.
Well, I'm gonna jot this stuff down.
That's what I'm slowly learning over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, you seem like you've had a ton of success.
Yeah, I kind of just get obsessed with stuff, and I have to do better every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
It is kind of a trend, though, I find in the angling world, is even my fishing buddies, they'll get stuck on a certain fish and just target and be obsessed with it and going back to the same spot where that fish lives, and they need to get it, and they'll go back every night of the week to get that one fish, and you're so determined. It's a good feeling when you catch it, though.
Yeah. I have a couple buddies like that the two of them have very flexible work schedules. They are their own bosses, and I think they spent the better part of this winter out at Wabamun trying to find the whitefish.
Oh yeah,
They were chasing that white whale, and holy man. And then this spring and summer they got into a couple of them on the fly, and it was like, yeah, it was pretty funny.
yeah. Whitefish are a blast on the fly in the lakes.
Yeah, well, both of them, they both caught just absolute tanks.
Yeah,
like I've only ever seen a whitefish in person one time, and it wasn't anything to really write home about. Oh my god, these are like they're bigger guys, and when you're watching them try and hold down this slab, and they can't even get their hand across it.
Yeah,
they were impressive fish.
Yeah, they're good fighters and good table fare too.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I'll probably caught more whitefish this year. No, maybe lake trout. But no, that's as soon as spring comes, as soon as the lake's open, me and Dad will just pound whitefish for the first bit, spot fishing in the shallow with the fly rods.
Yeah.
And then
what kind of flies do you have success on?
Tiny woolly buggers.
Yeah.
Like that with a gold bead head.
Okay.
And then we have some minnow patterns about the same size. There's squiggly worms. There's a few things that work, but those little woolly buggers work really well.
Yeah. I've only ever tried targeting them in the winter and without ever having any success.
Get a silver slender spoon.
Yeah.
The smallest one they make. And if you have a flasher, just rip it through the water column until they come. Then just go sit on that mark and just twitch it and raise it up till it's just heavy. Then set them.
Excellent. Again, I'm
write that down, Amanda.
Mentally jotting this stuff down.
Yeah, they're fun in the winter. They're pretty much like fishing for trout on a flasher. You'll just see them come through in a different depth, and you just get right on them and just slowly lift and twitch, and you just feel that weight because they're super subtle bites.
Yeah.
But if you just feel like a hesitation to even think it, just set the hook.
I'll keep that in mind.
Usually a fish on the line.
Yeah. Well, I've never utilized electronics.
Yeah.
I got a little fish finder for Christmas this year, and that's the first little bit of electronics that I've had, and it's super cool. And I can see the value in having that extra information, at your fingertips. So it's something that I want to explore this year is potentially getting a flasher. I think the flashers are just like, if I was going to get something, fish finder versus flasher, I think I would invest in the flasher.
Fish finders work good too. Like you can get the fish finders with the built-in flasher.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on my Garmin, I'll run a flasher on the one screen, then the fish finder on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So you're still getting your graphs, then your flasher's still there, and you're still marking that fish, and it'll probably improve your day maybe 70%.
Oh my.
For a catch, because that fish is there, then you can work it.
I like those odds.
Hands down, I think they change the game so much more because that fish is there, then you can just make it bite pretty much.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. But big pike, you don't need that.
No. Little pike, you don't really, they come out of nowhere. They're always there.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I saw the smallest
Go
pike
ahead.
I've ever seen when I was at the this week. I saw the smallest pike I've ever seen in my life, and I tried to catch it because I just wanted a picture with the smallest pike ever. It was unreal. We have little dink pike in the river there, but it's still cool to watch them and see them try to, lure them in a little bit. So
How big was it? Like that?
yeah, about that big.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was determined.
Did you put on a little
My
tungsten
lure
or
was
what?
no, I didn't have time. I just wanted to get it. I was trying to get it to. I think I had a brown trout lure on, so I tried, but
Oh, yeah.
get it.
Sweet. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up about the Women's Fishing Network or anything before we wrap her up here?
I mean, aside from, we want to see more women getting involved. Yeah, just make sure you guys are checking out our website. I feel like maybe not a lot of people know that it's there. It's womensfishingnetwork.com. And yeah, we have some contributors. Like there's a gal out of the States. Her name is Jess Caldwell, and she is just super cool. Really big in like she has a company called Rewilding, or something to that effect. And she teaches wilderness courses and stuff like that. So she's got some really great written entries in there. Renee, who unfortunately couldn't join us this evening, she's got some really great blog entries as well, and product reviews and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just it's a pretty cool website. You can have access to basically everything that we do. So yeah, people should definitely check that out. And yeah, just check out our YouTube page, like and subscribe. The growth on the YouTube page helps us to get more sponsors, which helps us to get out there more and create more content for you guys. So any support is super appreciated.
And where can they find you, Amanda? Your personal stuff?
My personal stuff, I am Wild Girls Alberta on Instagram. Yeah, hit me up. I post pretty regularly, a lot of my adventures and stuff like that. Yeah, I love seeing what everybody else is up to. So yeah, hit me up, give me a follow.
Well,
I'm
Amanda,
you
even got your own little emblem and logo and have toques out and stuff for Wild Girls Alberta, which is super cool.
Yeah, I got a little bit of merch in the works, stickers and hats and stuff like that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they find you, Chelsea?
Chelsea_Nicole86, because I started my Instagram before being really into fishing, so I don't have a cool fishing handle. But yeah, I try to post lots on there, and I know I've been trying to think of what I need to change it to, something like to do with trout, because I'm a trout girl.
Trout slayer.
Nice. If you have any suggestions, that was taken.
Dang.
So yeah,
it's got to be like a really aggressive name.
Yeah. Do you have any other things you want to say about the Women's Fishing Network, Chelsea, before we go?
No, that's it. I mean, even if any ladies just want to send us some pics or whatever, we've been really just trying to showcase women all over, just because there's so many different types of fish out there. We love to see it all from all over the world. So it's not a huge commitment. Just send stuff our way, tag us in stuff. We love to showcase it.
Yeah, build that community.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for being on tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. This was fun.
Thanks for having us, Mitch. We appreciate it.
No problem. You guys can find me at Northwest Adventures on pretty much everything except for Instagram, Northwest Mitch. And you can see us here next Tuesday. and we'll have some new guests for you. Or one of these weeks, I have to go on my laptop and play with this a little more so I can bring up pictures and stuff. But it's coming. So we might see you next Tuesday, or I might be studying on this thing. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Take
We'll
care.
talk soon. See
Yeah.
ya.
We'll
Thanks,
see you.
everyone.